If you clicked on this video, you probably heard a little bit about stillness, but maybe you're still wondering how stillness could unlock your true potential, and maybe more importantly, how do you even practice it? And this was me not so long ago. So in this video, I'm excited to dive into its benefits and how you can really practice it regularly. But before we get into that, I think it's important to understand a little bit of the background on stillness and how it plays into today's context. See, humans, since we started to come together as larger and larger groups and as societies, we've pushed to be more and more productive. Fast forward to today, in this digital technology revolution that we're in, it feels like we're being pushed to be productive every moment of every single day, wherever we are, whether it's shooting an email on the go or listening to a podcast or a YouTube video, wherever, whenever we are. But at the same time, this ancient idea of stillness has had a renaissance. It started to come back slowly but surely as an idea that maybe less is more than pushing and pushing and pushing. And while stillness has been talked about for thousands of years, even today, it's still widely misunderstood. See, stillness isn't about calming your mind, disengaging from the world, or even taking things slowly. Stillness essentially, and most importantly, is about you. It's about each of us as individuals. And once again, returning to being the most important part of this story or this movie called life. In the Bible itself, it says, "Be still and know that I am God." And more recently, the Indian sage, spiritual leader Ramana Maharishi once said, "Stillness is the sole requisite for the realization that self as God." Powerful words in regards to the benefits of stillness. But stillness isn't solely for spiritual thinkers and leaders. Even modern day executives have talked about the benefits of stillness in their own words. See, Steve Jobs often talked about the benefit of focus. He said something along the lines of, people think that focus is about saying yes to the things you need to focus on, but that's not the case at all. Focus is about saying no to the 100 of good ideas out there. And Warren Buffett, the famed investor, said once that the stock market is a device for moving money from the impatient to the patient. Patience being a key component or a key idea of stillness. Okay, so if you're at this point in the video and you're saying, okay, I sort of generally get that stillness could be helpful, but how will it really change my life on a day-to-day basis? Well, that was me, like I said, not so long ago. In 2019, I was going through some real stress and anxiety. And after trying so many different other things, I decided to do meditation, to take a course, to take a 10-day silent meditation course, a Vipassana meditation course. And it changed my life. Since then, I've dedicated myself 2 hours every single day to practicing silent meditation. And every year I do a course. So I know a thing or two about stillness and its benefits. And one of the first things I noticed from practicing meditation and practicing stillness was greater joy and happiness. See, once we're able to practice putting things aside, just focusing on ourselves, focusing on our sensations, our breath, and detaching from our emotions for a little bit of time, this greater joy and happiness that's buried within all of us is able to rise up. And that's what I found in my own life, just an outpouring of joy and happiness. Number 2, greater confidence and self-love. See, once you're happier, naturally you become more confident. And when you're more confident, you have more self-love and self-belief. And this is important because so much of our interactions and situations that we meet people require us to be confident, to have more self-belief. And people notice it. On top of it, it's incredibly helpful if you're trying to get things done, to have that confidence and self-belief in yourself. People will trust in your ideas and suggestions more. Number 3, more wise and thoughtful. Many of the spiritual traditions of the past talk about that once you come back to yourself, come back to your center with yourself and sort of take a break from what's happening around you, this inner wisdom has an opportunity to rise up and provide guidance and direction. And I've found this in my own life. As I've practiced stillness more and more, this inner wisdom is able to rise up. Whether you want to call it your intuition, your higher mind, your soul, the universe, whatever you want to call it. I've seen this in my own life, this inner wisdom rise up once I practice stillness more and more. On top of it, we're more thoughtful. See, once we step away from a problem or situation, we often can see it from a different perspective, a more thoughtful perspective, maybe a 10,000 foot view perspective, which often can be very helpful instead of worrying about the minutia of the challenge or situation. Number 4, more kind and compassionate. See, we're often spending so much of our day worrying about our own problems, our own fears, our own desires, that we don't see the world from a more clear perspective. But once we're able to be more happy and confident because we've practiced stillness, we can often see so many challenges facing others. And oftentimes we can respond more kindly and more compassionately. And number 5, we get to know ourselves on a deeper level. Know thyself. See, once we're able to just be with ourselves, be with our emotions, our sensations, and sort of detach from what's happening around us, we can often see what's driving this fear or what's driving this desire. And go even deeper. Sometimes we're able to shed those fears and desires and get to a deeper version of ourselves. Carl Jung, the great psychologist, once said that it's a privilege of a lifetime to know who you truly are, to become who you truly are. So now that you know some of the benefits of stillness, how do we actually practice it? Well, the first one may be pretty obvious. Meditation. Taking 5, 10, 20 minutes out of your day to just be with your thoughts, your sensations, your breath is an excellent way of practicing stillness. And if you don't have a technique yet, I highly encourage you to take a class, or better yet, taking a longer course on meditation. And minimum, grabbing a book or an app can be a helpful place to start. Number 2, like Steve Jobs talked about, learning to say no. Once we learn to say no, we create space to focus on the things that are really, truly important to us, that really nourish us, to help us get towards our longer term goals or visions. Number 3, being more mindful. Whether it's focusing on brushing your teeth in the morning, the food that you're eating, or the conversations you're having, just focusing on the thing that you're doing is a great opportunity to practice stillness throughout your day, doing the normal things that you usually do. Number 4, reflecting and journaling. Taking some time to put your to-do list on the side and just focusing on your thoughts, reflecting on some of the things you decided to do, some of the decisions you made yesterday or the day before, to focus on some bigger questions and bigger concerns in your life. This is a great way to just be with yourself, understand yourself a little bit deeper, a little bit more clearly. And lastly, and perhaps most useful in today's day and age, a digital detox. See, our phones and other digital devices are incredibly addictive. They're designed this way. They're designed to keep us hooked. Taking a day out of a week, out of a month, or a couple days out of a year is a great way to detach from our devices, to be with ourselves, and to do more simple things like cooking, going for a walk, being in nature, reading a book, spending time with those who really nourish us. Hopefully this video has been helpful in terms of learning how to practice stillness and some of its benefits. But remember, most importantly, stillness is about you. And the more that you get to practice stillness, the more you generate greater self-love for yourself. So thanks for checking out this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe if it's been helpful. Have a great day.